back. Well, we're looking at the latest killings on the Plateau. We're being joined now by Mr. Issa Sanusi, who is the country director, Amnesty International, and also Mr. Oamien Okidevie, who is the CEO of August I Limited, and also a security expert. We have to thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on Sunrise Elite this morning.
Thank you, Margaret, for having us today.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Well, this is the latest in a line of, well, I say, incessant attacks on the Plateau. Amnesty International, you have issued a statement condemning the latest killings, but also saying that the inexcusable security lapses that enabled these horrific attacks 2 weeks after the killing of 52 people must be investigated. How optimistic are you that this particular statement of yours, this particular, let's say, desire of yours will come to fruition?
Well, we always do this whenever there are this kind of conflicts or attacks. We always insisted that the beginning of discovering the truth, reconciliation, justice begins with a thorough, independent, impartial, resourceful investigation. There is no way you can use assumptions, you can use side talks to arrive at what caused these attacks, who are behind them, who is sponsoring them, where are they getting these massive weapons from, without an investigation. And we've always believed that the government of Nigeria has enormous resources, it has enormous powers. So what is stopping them from investigating and telling us what happened? They have the power, they have to do it. And there is no way people will be killed repeatedly and no one has clue what is happening. Whatever everyone will tell you is just speculation. People will tell you it's about land, it's about ethnicity, it's about religion. But only a thorough, impartial, resourceful investigation can establish this. And it is the duty of the government to make this clarity known to the people, because not doing that is building up a lot of grievances that will pile one day and consume all of us, because people are just building their own assumptions and conspiracy theories going around, and people believe in them. Therefore, the government is repeatedly failing us. They are failing us to tell us exactly what is going on.
Well, Mr. Oyame, I want to ask you, because 2 weeks ago we saw this same kind of attacks in Bokos local government area. We saw the NSA visit afterwards. We saw even the chief of army staff, even the IG of police sent a very strong panel, strong representation to also, see what had happened in the place. There were talks of the political solution from what we gathered. And also security people were supposed to be on the ground. So there were also some measures put in place to prevent a recurrence. Yet, a few days after, it's less than 2 weeks after the attacks on Bokos, and we understand that it would seem there was a diversionary tactic, which happened in this instance, which lured the security men away before this particular act took place. What do you think is the missing link, in preventing this sort of attacks, where we've seen another 50 plus people being murdered in such a way?
Okay, thank you very much, Mope. And I can see the creases on your face that this is a very horrendous situation. And I would like to say that if we talk about investigation, we are talking about 25, 30 years of reoccurrences. There is no government that will say that it has not had the capacity to have a fruitful investigation with a closure of who were the perpetrators and where did they emanate from, where did they get their weaponry from, and what penalties have been accrued to those that have been arrested. Now, let me take you to the value of a life. One citizen of a country is worth the life of all its military. One citizen of a country, because that is what you enjoy in your territorial integrity. So if I want to comment on this, I'll give an opening remark that we tailor towards the need for culpability of every security agency head and government institution head. Government institution head must involve the judiciary that is supposed to implement penalties to those that have been arrested so far with evidence of participation. And we'll also look at the other agencies that are supposed to cascade down the active intelligence that can be gathered. Then we'll look at the need for intervention forces to actually deter the opportunities to take life from the villages.
You know, because I'm just thinking about it. You first and foremost, you see such an attack, such a brazen attack happen, and then we see all of these very important people visit, whose job it is to secure the country, to reassure the people that, oh, don't worry, this kind of thing will not happen again. Under a watch, we'll make sure that everything is kept under control. And then shortly after, another community witnesses exactly the same thing. And it is less than 2 weeks after that, the first attack we're talking about, less than 2 weeks. So you have to ask, what exactly is the temerity? What fuels the temerity that these marauders, what fuels the audacity? I mean, is it that they're not afraid of security agencies? Is it that they know that there will be no consequence? What exactly is it, from your own reading, will fuel this sort of? And we don't know whether it's the same group of people that carried out the attacks on Bokos that also carried out the ones in Bassa. But we should imagine that if there had been sufficient work done in the instance in Bokos, some people would get the message and not want to try out what they have done again in Bassa. What do you think has caused this?
You see, every day we keep looking for reasons. But the reasons are obvious. Later, some people will tell you it's a speculation theory. Some other people will tell you that you are trying to increase the insecurity body language of the country. Now, if certain group of people get into a place, kill and burn and maim and rape and walk out of that place, it is already a slap on the face of the institutions that are supposed to protect such areas. Now, when there is no reprisal from the security agencies, tracing them back to their hideouts, even if they are attacked by any strategy that created a surprise, tracing them back to their hideouts and telling them the language that they should understand, that this is Nigerian territorial integrity. I remember when I was in the military, I remember commanders that I had, that when they say we should move, we move in unison. Both Muslim and Christian soldiers, both Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, once you are donning the uniform, we move together and we die and win together. Now, for Nigeria currently, what we have seen is just a military institution, a police institution, a DSS institution that are only for ceremonial comments, parades, and media activity. The capture of states of insecurity in Nigeria can be wielded by the high and mighty. There are people in places in Nigeria that can deter the judiciary, that can handicap the activities of security agencies. And we know them. And so many people, the last man, Malami, that left, said he has a list of persons and institutions that sponsor terrorism in Nigeria. And he handed over to another person in the judiciary without any action taken on those persons and institutions. And we continue to die.
Well, you've spoken about the fact that we have not been able to bring the full weight of the state on these marauders. And let me come to you, because in the wake of these attacks, yes, we always hear, statements issued by the federal government on these kinds of attack. But this particular statement by the president, seemed to, looking for the right word now, seemed to be a bit different. He wasn't just commiserating with the people of Plateau State. He was giving marching orders to the military to rout those people, to be on the offensive. So it seemed that what it would seem that that struck me, because I asked myself, is it that they had to wait for a command to be given for them to be on the offensive? Or was this a strategy to just say, well, our work right now is just going to be to protect the people? Clearly, that is failing. Protection doesn't seem to be enough, because if you're losing 100 people in a space of 2 weeks, there are big questions there. But in this statement, asking the military to go after these people, do you think that we should see better results?
Well, we will not see any better results. There is nothing that is going to change. And let me make something very clear. I read the statement by the president, and he mentioned something very important that we have to be talking about: the responsibility of the state governments. As Nigerians, we tend to look up to the federal government whenever we have problems. But the issue is, if you go to this community that was attacked, there is no road, no water. And we know that the military is currently operating or carrying out security operations in at least probably 30 states or something like that. Therefore, for years, over 10 years now, they have been overstretched. They are human beings. And to tell you that, all these failings and the instructions given by the president will not change anything, because the military is overstretched. The security issues we are having in Nigeria are too much and too many, and they cannot be able to cope with them. And another issue is that we have to ask ourselves, what are the state governments doing? For example, when you ask the military to move into a community where there is an attack, and there is no road leading to that place, are they not human beings? So in my experience, I said so many times, in the course of our research missions, we came across military personnel trying to reach remote communities. They could not, because there is no road. The local governments are not functioning. Where are their funds going to? Even this community, Zike, doesn't have a road. It doesn't have water. So if you allow the military to come in and intervene, how are they going to come in? So we have to look at these issues more critically.
There's a lack of government presence in those places.
Completely. And if you look at, for example, in December 2023, when a community in Kaduna State was attacked by a military drone, where 100 people attending a religious event were killed, we discovered that there is no road leading to that community. They don't have a school. They don't have water. And that is the story if you go to Zamfara, if you go to Sokoto, if you go to Katsina. So where are the allocations given to the local governments going to? How can the military be able to carry out their responsibilities when they could not even get a road to arrive at the right time to intervene? I'm not giving excuses for anybody, and I'm not holding brief for them.
But all of the matters are related.
Yes, they are related. Poverty, injustice, isolation. These rural communities have been completely abandoned. They are already impoverished to the extent that they are vulnerable to so many things. Climate change, that is why people can just come and kill them and go away. So we have to start thinking, we have to be asking the governors, what are they doing? Why are local governments not functioning? Is this how we have been living in the past? No.
Only recently, just today, on the front pages of the daily, because I think a few days ago, we heard the governors warning local government chairmen not to open an account with the CBN because of this autonomy, business that has been going on for a while now. It does appear that there is a stalemate of such. As a matter of fact, I think one of the dailies this morning, was saying that, is the local government association calling out the Attorney General of the of the Federation over local government autonomy. And all of this matters because what exactly is a government? What exactly is a state about if it's not the security of lives and property and the welfare of the people? So if their welfare was already in jeopardy, you know, it clearly their security was already in, and this is all of us, isn't it?
And that is what we have been talking about. For us to address these problems that we are facing in Plateau, in Benue, in Sokoto, in Zamfara, we have to look at them from a broader perspective. We know that our security agencies, they have their own lapses, they have their own problems, they violate human rights sometimes, and we know that they are not resourceful enough as well. And we know that Nigerian government does not care about accountability for lives because these people are ordinary people living in villages. They don't have very big surnames that will ring bells. Therefore, no one cares about them. We know that these are factors. But we also have to look at these things from a broader perspective. Whenever there are these attacks and we go to these villages to do investigation, we end up coming face to face with absolute poverty, with impoverishment, with isolation, with complete abandonment. You will think that these people, there is no governance at all. You will think that there is no sovereign authority within the spaces where they are living. No water, no schools, no hospital, people just living in absolute poverty. So these are the issues. If we want to address these issues, we have to start looking at them from a broader perspective. But as I have said at the beginning of our conversation, we have to start with telling the truth. And there is no way you can get the truth without a thorough, effective, authoritative, resourceful, impartial investigation. That is what will tell people that, okay, these people that attack Zike village in Basa local government, they come from so-so place, this is their identity, this is their ages, the weapons they are using, these are where they got them from, this is where they were registered, they came in because of this, because of that, this is what they have said. And by doing that, you are already resolving a very big grievance that may lead to reprisal. But we don't do that. And that is why Amnesty International is always insisting that the Nigerian government is completely not concerned about resolving these problems, because the simplest thing that they should have been doing is doing this investigation, telling people the truth. I think the truth will go a long way in addressing the bigger issues around, because these killings are building up grievances. Grievances are building up every day. It happened in Bokos local government, it happened in Basa, it is happening in Benue, it is happening in Zamfara, it is happening in Lakura, are killing people in Kebbi State almost every day. And we are sitting down in Abuja, in Lagos, and other places. We are thinking that these things are far away from us. But whenever they happen, the young people in these communities, in these villages, rush for safety into the urban areas and the cities. And there are no opportunities for them. And that's why we are dealing also with urban crimes, city crimes. So many things are coming together. And I hope that this will be an opportunity for the government to do the right thing. Make sure there is accountability, unveil the identities of these killers. Who are they? What is their aim? Make sure that those kind of conspiracy theories going around are completely demolished with facts. And I believe that is the beginning. I ensure that there is justice, and let us try as much as possible and ensure that there is social justice. There is no reason to leave people to be living in this age without water. Water, for God's sake.
Well, you talked about, the subnational level, and the governor of the state, Governor Caleb Muftuang, spoke to the people shortly after that particular attack, and this was what he had to say, something to the effect about, supporting the security agencies with information. But I think we have the track on standby now.
In the meantime, I want to reassure the people of Plateau State that we are truly on top of this situation and will go to any length to be able to forestall further occurrence. At the moment, I'd like to encourage our people all over the state that please, whatever intelligence you pick up, No matter how irrelevant you think it is, please do let us know. We are ready to protect the source of our information so that no life will be in jeopardy.
How vital is this in stopping the next round of killing? Because as far as the number of people are concerned, and I'm sure from what you also know of the Plateau, unless something different is done this time around, we could see another round. So how vital is this last statement he made on giving information to helping to stop it? That's for you, Mr. Ohaime.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I was thinking it was addressed to my co-guest. Now, let me first look at the situation the Amnesty International described at the local government. Now, I will assure you that we are talking about an issue of 30 years beyond, 30 years beyond. Some of the people that were born when all of these things started, they are going to their 40s and 50s right now. So I think that there are committees that have been set up, investigative bodies that have been set up by the government, funded by taxpayers' money, and they have come up with resolutions, possible solutions, with evidence of perpetrators and then lines of perpetration. And there has been no implementation whatsoever. Every new government comes in their campaign stories, they tell you about government intervention, government presence, and all of that. Now, let's also go back to the paucity of developmental structures in the locality where this thing happened, and the inability by his own assessment of military and other intervention to move into the place. For your information, those local government allocations and projects were mentioned during elections. Where is the accountability? Because if we say we are not going to hold the federal government to ransom, we will be making a mistake, because the disbursements come from the federal government. So accountability can be requested by the federal government, expecting that these government institutions up to the local government, the councillor, can be able to answer questions when their inability to perform has led to loss of life. You can be roped into the accomplice level of murder in the court of law. So we are not implementing, we are not asking for accountability. So let me also look at the environment. I still disagree, sir. And I disagree that it is not possible to implement intervention measures. I disagree with the governor that the people should bring intelligence for the government to use to act. I disagree. Now, the government is within the people. If it is time to generate votes and to hunger the people with their 2,000 naira to make them vote for each succeeding government, we know where they are. We go to the hinterlands. We even see a candidate going to the market, drinking water from the dirty sources of water and promising them that I will make it okay. So if we want to deploy accountable intelligence gathering system as a governor, you can. You have the list of all the retired military personnel, retired police officers, and all other agencies that come from your state. You can institute them into intelligence gathering paraphernalia within your state. You also have the intelligence system of technology. There are technology that you can deploy with solar system, even if there's no electricity, that can tell you when there is mass movement of people, and you immediately find out why. For the military that you talk about, they can use area measures to drop tear gas in all of those areas and smoke bombs and smoke those people out to places where you await them and you decimate them. So I think that there are measures that have not been implemented because of this failure of the government to address perpetrators. The perpetrators are obviously within our paraphernalia at our reach, but they are also within the opportunities to compromise the efforts of government.
Well, gentlemen, we are already wrapping up our conversation. Mr. Sanusi, I'm just going to ask you very quickly, what are your quick expectations from government? You've spoken about investigation. What else do you want government to do?
Well, I want government to implement a new and effective security measures to protect the people. They should fear God, because we all believe in God. They should fear God and protect these people. This carnage has to stop. This should be the end. I'm just pleading with them. They should protect the people. And another thing is that they should stop these political statements after each killing, this saying this, this saying this. Let us see a difference from now henceforth, because these killings are building up grievances, and that is how nations can fail. So we have to avoid this from happening. We have to address these grievances. The grievances are building up. Every killing in every community leaves behind a mountain of grievances, and we have to address them, because they may blow up and consume all of us.
Well, gentlemen, we have to thank you so much for coming on the program. Mr. Issa Sanusi is the country director of Amnesty International. We are also joined by Mr. Ohaime Okidevie. I always have a challenge pronouncing your name. Please forgive me. He's the CEO of August I Limited and also a security expert. Gentlemen, thank you once more for coming on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.